Hi, I'm Larry Puckett, the DCC guy. You know, after my last video, I got a request from one of the viewers asking for me to do a video on consisting using the NCE PowerCab system. So, that sounded like a reasonable request and something I could do. And I've done previous videos on consisting, a whole series, I think about 3 of them, and I'll put a link to those above me here and also at the end of the video so that you can either pick it up now or after we finish doing this. However, I decided in order to make it a little bit more interesting, I would add a look at how Digitrex implements consisting on their systems using their new DT602 600 family series of throttles, like this one here in my right hand. So let's go ahead and get started. But first, hit that little red subscribe button, and when the little bell comes up, click on it and click all. Thanks now. First, let's talk a little bit about what is consisting. And it's also called MUing, or multiple unit operations. And basically what it is, if you've ever watched locomotives out on the railroad, you know that your favorite prototype that you like to watch locomotives on typically operates 2, 3, 4, or even more locomotives together as a consist or a multiple unit group of locomotives. And that's what consisting is. It's the process that allows you to link together the decoders in your locomotives that you want to operate as a distinct consist so that they will all respond to throttle commands simultaneously. And there are a number of ways to go about doing this using DCC. And I'll talk a little bit about the 3 different methods for setting up a multiple unit consist before we go ahead and proceed into showing you how to do it. So let's go ahead with that. I'm going to start by talking a little bit about the differences between the 2 approaches that NCE and Digitrex go about consisting on their command stations and their throttles, because there are some small differences. And I talked about different types of consisting in the videos that I alluded to in the opening, and they will also be linked on the closing page of this video. So you can either get it now, or you can watch the video and zip to the end and pick up those videos there. But basically, there's 3 different types of consisting that's used in DCC today. There is basic, which just basically is setting the addresses on all the locomotives that you want to operate as a consist to the same address. And that way they will all respond to the same commands at the same time. And there's some downsides to that, which I talk about in the videos. Now, the other method is universal or command station assisted consisting. And in that one, you enter the locomotives that are going to be part of a consist in a specific order, and then the command station keeps track of all of those and sends out commands to each decoder that is addressed as part of the consist. And that can be fraught with problems, particularly on large systems where you're running a lot of consist and a lot of locomotives, because it can slow down the response time of those individual locomotives in a consist. And again, I talked about those downsides in the video on universal or command station assisted consisting. Now, the third method is advanced consisting. And with advanced consisting, it's sort of like basic. But instead of all of the locomotives in a consist responding to the same address, they respond to the same consist address. And that's a difference. And again, I talked about that in the video that I did on advanced consisting. And advanced consisting is one that is implemented by default in the NCE system, whereas Digitrex uses universal consisting, and they have for over 25 years now. But let me also point out that as an option, you can implement universal consisting on an NCE throttle. And it's called, they call it the old method, as opposed to using advanced consisting, which is also implemented on their throttles. So you have a choice of going with the older system, the universal system that Digitrex uses and has been using, as well as using advanced consisting by default on your PowerCab system. So first we're going to take a look at how to consist a couple of locomotives on a Digitrex system. And for that I'm going to be using, as I said, the DT602D, which means duplex, so it's a wireless throttle. And I'll be using that with my DCS240 system here. And then we'll take a look at the PowerCab after that. So let's go ahead. I'm going to have to zoom in because I've got to show you everything here on this little screen that I'm doing. And we'll also be taking a look at the locomotives on the track as well. So let's go ahead and I'll walk you through how to do universal consisting on a Digitrex DT602D throttle. Now here are our two locomotives, the 2147 in front and 6547 in the rear. Now before we begin the consisting process, you always want to run the two locomotives to make sure that they're going in the right direction. And on the Southern Railway, the long hood on these locomotives was designated as forward. So I've got them both facing in the same direction. And now, just to make sure that they're operating in the right direction, I'm going to move one of them. And you can see it's heading off to the left. I'll bring it back a little bit. Okay. Now let's check the other one. Make sure it's working right. Okay, good. So we're going to bring it up closer. Okay. So we now have them both going in the same direction. And we can now go through the process of doing the consisting. So let's take a look at that on the throttle. Okay, so we want to start with 2147 as our top locomotive and add 6547 to it. So the first thing we do then is press the loco key here and then enter 2147 and hit the loco key again. And then we're going to hit it one more time to get into MU mode. And you'll notice right here above my thumb it says MU. So we want to press that. Now we want to enter 6547 and then press our MU plus key here. And that's done. You can see it says 128 CN, so it's a 128 speed step setting with a consisted locomotive, this one here. So we can hit the exit key to get out of that mode. So in order to add more locomotives to the consist, you would just keep repeating those steps with hitting the loco key, pressing A for MU, entering the address and pressing the A for MU plus, and then hit exit. And you could just keep doing that to add more locomotives to the consist. Okay, so now we've done the consisting, so here we can operate them. And you can see they're both starting up at the same speed, moving to the left, forward. Stop them, reverse them, and they'll back up some. Now let's take a look at how do you go about breaking up or removing a locomotive from the consist. So here we have 2147. You can see it says it is the top locomotive of a consist. Now, to get rid of or to drop a locomotive from the consist, we hit the loco key, enter 6547 in this case, and hit the loco key again, hit MU, and hit MU minus right here above the B. And then we're done. And you can see 6547 is separate and active now. So we can operate each locomotive independently. And it's that quick in order to be able to set up and break up a universal consist with the Digitrex throttle. Okay, so we've broken 6547 out of the consist. Let's back it up a little bit. And you can see it's going to operate independent from 2147 now. Move it forward again. And we can use 2147 independently. Now, you can use this when you're out doing work on your railroad. If you've got two locomotives that are pulling a train, they stop to do some local switching, and you can actually break one of them out of the consist, go do the work off on a siding somewhere, come back, connect them together, and then recombine them into a consist and proceed on off down the track. Okay, now for this part of the demo, let's go ahead and take a look at how you go about setting up consists using the PowerCab. And for that, I'm going to be working here on the modules where I installed the PowerCab in a previous video. So this is fairly straightforward process, and I'm going to be using the same two locomotives, 6547 and 2147. Okay, so here we have the two locomotives set up, ready to be consisted, and we'll go ahead and proceed with the consisting, and I'll show you first that they're moving in the right direction. And back it back up, get it ready for the consist. And let's take a look at 2147. I'm going to reverse it and then bring it back up. So we know that they're both going in the same direction. I'm not going to couple them up so that you can see how well they start up together. And what we're going to do here is, first, let's go ahead and set up an old style universal consist, and then we'll kill that one, and I'll show you how to do the more advanced consist that they also offer here on the PowerCab. So let's go ahead and give that a try. If you look down here, there is a area marked out consist. So you can set up, you can clear, you can add, and you can delete locomotives in a consist. So to do that, let's set one up. So hit setup. So you can see we can hit enter to get an advanced, or hit 1 to create an old style consist. And remember, old style means universal. Okay, so I'm going to hit 1 right here on the keypad. And you can see it's going to say old type consist. Nobody's in it. Okay, so we're going to hit enter, and it's asking for the lead loco's number. So in this case, I'm going to use 6547 for that. 6547, and hit enter. And direction of this loco, it's either forward or reversed. In this case, it's facing forward, which is what we want, so I can go ahead and hit enter. The rear loco is 2147, and hit enter, and it too is facing forward, so hit enter again. Now, you notice it says consist now full. That is one of the limitations of the PowerCab system. I think it's probably a memory limitation. You can only have two locomotives in a universal style consist using the NCE PowerCab. Okay, here they go together in a consist. Okay, let's go ahead and kill this consist so we can go ahead and work with these two locomotives to make an advanced consist. So we go back down here to the consist area, and you can say it says, I'm going to go past that, we're going to hit clear, and you'll notice right here now, it's asking me enter equal no, 1 equals yes. Well, I'm going to hit 1 because that's what we want to do. And now we've gone back to the operating screen. Locomotive 6547 is by itself. It's no longer a consist. And now that the consist has been cleared, let's go ahead and see how they work. So you can see there goes 6547 by itself and 2147. We can bring 6547 back again too. And that's it. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at how you go about setting up the advanced consist. So once again, we go back down here to the consist area and hit setup. And now it's saying enter equals advanced, 1 equal old. So I'm just going to hit the enter key. Now, the thing that, if you've watched the video on advanced consist, you know that, and I'll tell you, that you're limited to addresses 1 through 127. And actually, on the Power Cab, you can only use 16 of those. So you can only have 16 advanced consist using a Power Cab. And what they will do is they will offer you, the Power Cab itself will give you the largest of the advanced consist addresses that is available. So in this case, number 127, which is the largest number you can use, is available. Now you could key in something else if you wanted to use a different number, or you can just use this one. But no matter what, it's a good idea to keep track of these consists, but not absolutely necessary, because I'll tell you why in a second. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and enter, and that's entered that we're going to use 127. Now our lead locomotive is going to be 6547, so it says enter that, and I'm going to do that. And we'll hit enter, and its direction is forward. The rear locomotive in this case is going to be 2147. And we'll hit enter again, and it's forward. So we can keep adding locomotives to the consist. Theoretically, there's no limit. I'm sure that eventually you'd run out of room, or you might actually just not have enough power to run that many locos. But you keep adding locos to this. I'm going to go ahead and click past this. 6547 is our lead locomotive. We entered that first. Now that is also an alias for the consist address 127. So we can enter 6547 and operate, or we can kill it using that number, or we could use 127 for the consist address. So now what we're going to do is kill that consist we just created. So what we want to do is, let's clear a consist, and it's asking me kill consist, and what number? Well, 127 is the one that we created, and I hit that, and it's done that fast. So I really like the speed and ease with which you can create, add to, and remove locomotives from consist using the Power Cab and the NCE system. It really has some advantages, I think, over the Digitrax system. Although once you've used that menu-based system on their newer 600 series throttles, you will just get used to the process. It's not going to lead you quite as easily through the process as the menu-based system here in the Power Cab does and in their throttles. But after you've done it a couple of times, hitting those loco keys is very straightforward, and the MU and the MU plus and minus are very straightforward, easy approaches as well. And you know, I've been doing it for 25 years using both systems. I started off with the Digitrax system that they sent me to do a product review, and Wangro sent me a System 1, which was basically the same as the NCE system. Jim Scorsese built them for Wangro. So I've been working with this type of system and the Digitrax system for 25 years, and you know, I find them equally easy to work with. Well, that's a wrap for today's video. So, you know, no matter whether you're using the Digitrax system or you're using the NCE system, whether it's a Power Cab or the more advanced systems that they offer, you know, you can easily set up consists that will make your operations on your model railroad a lot more prototypically accurate and add to the enjoyment of operating a model railroad. So, that's it for this week. Have a great weekend. We'll see you here next week with some more videos from the DCC Guide. Bye now.